Sorry guys, just getting some technical difficulties. What a brilliant way to start off our first week back. Right, awesome. Cheers, Lil. Always here to save the day. But yes, guys, welcome back to our first week back in the radio station in Creepy Corner. If you ever want a bit more of us out there, just follow us on our Facebook and our Twitter and Instagram. Yes, thank you, yes. Andy. Guest star now already doing my job for me. But and also if you ever missed one of our other episodes, follow us on YouTube. Get a nice little catch up, nice little podcast for you to listen to. Mm-hmm. But this week, not only is this a special episode because it's our 10th episode. Very good. And me and Andy here, our celebrity little guest, replacing Pinkie as she is currently going to a concert to one of her favourite artists, Marina, and Not the Diamonds. She's having fun for her birthday. It's also her birthday, so happy birthday to Pinkie. 22 years young.
You definitely sound like my parents now.
Yeah.
22 years young.
But so while she's out enjoying the student life, I've got our good friend Andy here.
Hello.
Say hello, Andy.
Hello.
And we are going to be on about one of the nerdiest things ever, and we've talked about this before on the show, but only like partially. And this is SCPs. So for anyone who doesn't know, SCPs are a fictional. The SCP Foundation is a fictional foundation who is responsible from keeping I can't even say it. Anomalies. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Abnormalities.
Yeah, keeping them nasty things away from us that could probably destroy the world.
Yeah, the whole pretense of it was it started on 4chan, I think, and it's pretty much like creepypastas, except instead of having a full story, it's more like you get a report, like a military report about what the thing is. There's at this point now, I think there's like 3,000 of them.
Like they get
so many.
Like they've added to their own the compilement. There's millions for you to look at. A few of them scary, a few of them funny. There's a good few joke ones out there. But me and Andy are big nerds and we love this type of stuff, so we just thought we'd go back to it. And let's go through a few of our favourites and just some random ones that we find. So, our little special guest, would you like to go first?
Which one would you like first? More of a serious one or more of a joke one?
I think we should start off with the one that is one of your favourites. And I think I know which one that is.
The one we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, the vending machine.
Yes.
Wait there, I've got notes on it, so I'm actually explain it. So, here it is, SCP number 261. Apparently people can't hear me.
Oh, that's fun.
So, basically, the premise of this one is, instead of a vending machine that has numbers on it, that lets you order whatever number coffee it is, it has a QWERTY keyboard. And anything you type in it will come out in the cup. This could be, you could type in hot cup of coffee, you'll get a hot cup of coffee. You could type a cup of gold, and a cup of gold will come out. But one thing that I'm curious about is how far do you think you could push it?
Well, blew the mic there. Well, that's the thing. It's like you can kind of test it because, like in the game, there's the you can actually encounter it and it can be beneficial, really beneficial. Or you can just destroy your game right there because if you like ask for a cup of antimatter, it'll just cause a nuclear explosion. You can ask for a cup of liquid rage, drink it, and become so enraged you physically explode.
Well, the thing is,
it's amazing. You can ask for the blood of Christ and it'll give you some nice wine. Mm-hmm.
But no, if we were thinking about it, that wasn't in a game setting. So obviously, real life setting for this kind of thing isn't exactly accurate. But if you said something like, "I want the planet Earth in the cup," would it come out in Earth would just expand from this vending machine, or would it compress it and you'd have a little mini Earth? But if you zoomed in with a microscope, you could see yourself looking into a cup.
I think that would be one of the ones where, like, it just does something like, just gives you, like, a cup of dirt, cup of rock.
No, but if you specified the planet Earth...
Maybe it might have just a miniature version when, like, say, where it's a constant paradox and a loop in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to see how far that thing could be pushed, because I've only ever thought, like, silly things, because obviously it even says that the polystyrene cups that can be easily broken, unaffected by any of these liquids, that even if it would destroy a polystyrene cup, it just doesn't. You can ask for a cup of acid and then it'll just sit there in a polystyrene cup as if that shouldn't have an effect against acid.
Okay, now, but here's the question. So you've met this vending machine.
Yes.
You can ask for 3 things to come out of it. What would you have?
Gold, obviously, because that'll get me a good few lot.
Well, you could go for something a bit more valuable than gold. Could go for platinum,
diamond.
Platinum, diamond.
Is platinum really that expensive? I think I've always thought that was just a game thing.
No, platinum's more expensive than gold, I think. You're making me question myself now. I'll quickly look it up.
No, it's alright. Yeah. I wonder what would happen if I asked for the answer to the universe, or a cup of pure knowledge. Would my brain just explode?
The answer. Well, if you ask for the answer to the universe, 2 numbers would fall out of it.
Oh.
Hey.
You can tell we're massive.
Okay, so you've had 1, which is your moneymaker, which is like gold or platinum or something like that.
Yeah.
So you have 2 more. What would you have?
Eternal youth.
What would that look like in a cup?
I don't know, some sort of weird liquid. That
Spunk.
just
Eternal youth. Cup of spunk.
It just gives me a cup of coconut oil.
Coconut butter, just rub it on your face.
It's like, that shit's magical, man.
That's
its own SCP.
When the stuff falls out, there's a label on the front that just says VO5, not sponsored.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's one. And
so gold, so diamonds.
So diamonds, knowledge, and fucking eternal youth. I'll become a god of mundane.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it's only 1 cup of diamonds, that's
a start. If I've got eternal knowledge and eternal life, I can invest.
But you could also be stuck poor forever if you invest badly.
No, but I've got eternal knowledge. I'm all knowing. I know what the market's going to be like. It's like the world's most perfect insider knowledge.
One thing I will say though, I don't think you went creative enough. So
really?
it's a cup of anything, right?
Yeah.
Cup of superpowers.
No, that's too basic, man.
No,
that could go wrong.
It could go wrong, or it could go right. It could go very right.
But
if it does go wrong, you have 2 more cups, which means you can have like an antidote to the last cup, or would it be one of those things that you don't discover until later that it's been horribly wrong?
I like to save superpowers for other scenarios. That's my thing. But yeah, let's think of another one. So right, I was listening about this one, and I can't remember the number of it. But it was the Young Succubus. And this one's really weird. This is one...
What website did you find that on? Are you sure that was the SCP website you found
yes.
that on?
Be nice, she's a nun. Shit, I've made it worse.
a succubus nun. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
I went for more innocent
basically,
ones,
this is a girl who has, by all normal means, looks like your average sort of teenage young adult girl, adolescent girl.
Of age?
Yeah, I believe of age.
Okay. I was going to say, do we need disclaimers with succubus and...
Except from a few abnormalities in the fact that she physically can't wear clothes, because her skin is that gentle that the slightest amount of cloth that isn't like silk, like a very thin layer of silk, will give her a terrible rash, really painful rash.
So are her feet constantly rash because they touch the floor?
No, it's just clothing.
Okay.
She doesn't really need to eat, but she just does it for the sake of it, for the fun of it, because obviously she can still taste and all that.
So what's the catch? All of these SCPs
what
have
she
a catch.
does need to eat, what she does need to eat, at least once a week, is a certain amount of cc's of male semen. Male semen.
I don't believe you found this one on the regular site.
No, I tell you, I'm 100% truthful. But and as well as that, any male who sees her will instantly be seduced by her without her even doing anything, and they will be so obsessed with her they get violent and aggressive.
Okay.
So yeah.
I did see a similar one, which was so basically there's this little girl,
Yeah.
right? I think that she's like between 3 and 5 years old, and as soon as somebody's in front of her and sees her, they feel the need to look after her immediately. I think it's after 2 minutes of exposure, they feel the need to look after her. But after about 10 minutes of exposure, they feel the need to hurt her.
Yeah, it's very similar.
But if anyone tries to stop them, they'll freak out and kill anyone they can just to get a hand on her. But as soon as they do, they drop dead.
Oh wow, Jesus Christ! That's
as soon as they do a single speck of harm, they drop dead.
See, I don't think it escalates to that point with this one. I think it is literally just men get violent around her and will try anything to get with her. Meanwhile, she's actually, again, a nun and has vowed a vow of chastity.
But she's a succubus.
She doesn't mind. She actually stays with the Foundation of her own free will because they take care of her, and if she's on good behaviour as well,
if she has to drink sperm,
they get it from a sperm bank.
Yes, but surely a nun drinking sperm is breaking some rules.
She knows she has to do it to survive. It's that thing is she accepts it's part of the way God made her. Because she is, again, religious. She's also found mysterious letters also been found in her containment, in which it is a letter from her father describing how her mother was gorgeous and had hooves instead of feet.
So he definitely didn't have a foot fetish.
Yeah, and that he had to kill her to stop man from going to paradise. And the only regret he has is that the last memory his little girl's going to have of him is him shooting his mother, her mother, and but like SCP Foundation have no clue how it got there, and she just had it and was just really calm about it, and she's just again a really passive person. Even when the males get violent around her, she doesn't really have much of a reaction. It doesn't freak her out. She doesn't question it. It just happens.
Okay. So there's a few of the harsh ones. I'm going to spin it around to more the funnier ones.
All right, yeah, let's have a funny one.
I want to talk about me. I'm a toaster.
You bastard.
To give context on that one of the items
we went on about this one last time.
In how much depth?
I refuse to talk about myself in the third person context. I went through the family who also became me, and I went into in-depth reasons and why I could only ever be talked about in the first person.
If you guys at home haven't caught on, basically there is a toaster, SCP number 426, where basically once it has been observed, when you talk about it, you can only talk about it as if you are the toaster, hence I am a toaster. I am a toaster.
It's brilliant. It's one of the funnier ones, and there's a good few ones. If I didn't explain in last time we were on about SCPs, there's even some ones that are so much of a joke. They have literally the J category of SCPs, and which includes one of my favourites, SCP-420J. Oh my god, you already know what it is. As soon as I said SCP-420, you know.
I know which one it is.
This SCP is the world's strongest joints. You can smoke it and you'll be the highest you've ever been. You'll be in a state of pure bliss, and you will not be able to do anything productive for a total of about 48 hours.
If I remember correctly, isn't there one of the reports that somebody got so high off it they were literally transported to another dimension?
Yeah, and there's a running joke that within the community, the SCP community, that some dude accidentally swallowed it, and he has yet to be seen. He literally just ascended, and no one has seen him yet.
He's probably chilling in heaven with Bob Marley.
Yeah, oh my god. And what's funny, and what is even better, it's like the fucking Willy Wonka and everlasting gobstopper of the fucking joint world.
Never gets smaller.
It always reappears. You can.
It reappears. Yeah. It doesn't get. It doesn't get shorter.
Yeah, you can kill it. It'll die. It will be long and gone, and you'll enjoy the world's best high. And then eventually, it'll just reappear. It just goes poof and reappears somewhere nearby where it was last smoked. And it's not like a small joint either. It's a thick boy.
The question is, if you cut it open and pulled out the inside, but the paper was still there, would it regenerate or would it reappear?
We could get it up on the page, and it'll probably have a thing for it.
Ooh, let's have a look.
SCP 420G.
420G. Thank God the internet in this building's working. Okay, most of it is apparently redacted, so let's see what it says. Something else in this report. So, when you are looking at the SCPs, usually they have 3 object classes.
Yeah.
Which is safe, which means it's completely safe, nothing wrong with it, they can basically just leave it alone and it's fine.
Yeah.
There is Euclid, which means it could be dangerous, but it seems alright, we'll keep an eye on it. And then there is Kita, which is world-ending. This one has the 4th that I've never seen before.
Oh.
Object class. Awesome.
Oh.
That is its object class. Item SCP-420J. Object class awesome. Main note. Hey man, this is not a real class. You got to make it safe or something, Dr. Martin.
I love that.
Let's see. Object class. So then it got redefined in the report. Object class. Totally safe.
I love it, man. It's like a running joke that back to the staff for that, like, trusting of it. Like, that's the thing, is apparently the strain of it is just undefined. It's just like no one can figure out what it is. That it is definitely still cannabis and marijuana.
It would be interesting if in the future they found a side effect, which is if you smoke the full thing, you get munchies so bad.
It'll probably say
that you go either you will starve within 5 hours, or you'll go a full cannibal, or something like that.
We'll turn it into a creepy one. There's also like the joke one of this dude who's so unlucky he manages to cause natural disasters. Like a proper Goofy style character where he just like has a series of slip-ups that cause mass destruction. He once tripped on his shoelace and a full parking lot fell down as a result. It's brilliant. He's had a total of so many injuries, and yet at no point has he actually died, and no one has a single clue how. But he keeps on, like, to the point where their way of securing him is by hiring him, putting him in a building with no one else, and paying him to stay there, and then having him, like, stay on private property nearby. Occasionally having people playing as his neighbours to, like, make sure he doesn't leave. Just because he's that much of a walking natural disaster that, like, it's just... like that he can't be trusted. What's
some of the ways that do you think that you could mess up in a way to cause a natural disaster of that fashion?
Proper Homer Simpson style, where I'll just fall asleep and hit the meltdown button for like the nuclear power plant.
I'd love to see like a real life domino effect, because I'm assuming you've seen videos of it, how you can start with a domino the size of your fingernail.
Yeah.
But if that topples one that's twice as big, and then twice as big, and
then
you can topple buildings. Do you think that could somehow be possible in New York, since it's all lined up perfectly?
I mean, we already had one more tested that theory a while back.
What is this?
They had 2 tries, didn't they? I mean, it didn't start with a domino.
Oh, come on.
I'm not saying a word. I just let everyone fill the gaps in their mind. But no, what was I going to say? I can't remember now. You've proper pulled me off course.
You're the one that brought up some extreme dominoes.
Extreme dominoes. What was I going to say? I can't remember now. But
I have some more.
Oh,
I have some more saved. Not the joke ones, but some more.
Yeah, let's have a look at some slightly serious ones. Oh, I want to talk about the ones that are pretty much like fucking Wendigos. They are. It's not the one that'll just hunt you down.
Shy Guy.
Yeah, it's not Shy Guy. No,
okay.
These ones are the ones that are like kind of crocodile, like wolf creatures, just without fur or skin.
Do you know the number, the name?
I'm not gonna find out, but they steal people's voices. So the main thing they'll eat, I don't think they get any nutrition out of it. They just do it for the sake of it. The first thing they do is go straight for the jugular. That's the first thing they eat, and as well as the rest of your body, obviously. And then they use the last moments of your voice to lure more people in, because the most likely the things you're going to be saying in the last moments before you die are going to attract people. You know, like, oh God, help me. Oh God, it's eating me. Blah, blah, blah. Someone please help. That's going to attract more people, and now it adds more voices of more people going, oh God, help me.
Yeah, that Wendigo one, as you guys probably heard me mention a little bit earlier, was the Shy Guy. SCP-096, the Shy Guy. So basically the premise of this guy, excuse me, is that he's, like 3 meters tall or something? Super skinny, like just bone, but arms three times as long as a normal human. He's like 6 foot tall. 6 foot tall? We're 6 foot tall.
No, he's really tall.
Have you been using some of SCP-420J? That's
what
you call him?
I wish. No, he's stupidly tall, like really, but like stupidly disproportionate as well.
Let's have a look. Humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. For people who use feet, it's very big. I'll convert it in a minute. Yeah. With arms that are about 1.5 meters each.
Yeah, so it's got proper dangly, like crazy inflatable arm flaying tube men arms.
But yes, so the whole idea with this one is that if you see his face, he will kill you. He has a 100% success rate. They have tested it by basically putting him at the bottom of a mountain in an old bunker, completely sealing in the bunker, nuclear blast doors, stuff like that. Somebody looked at a picture and he buried.
Instantly knew. That's what makes it freaky.
He ran through the mountain and scraped it away and got the guy.
That's the thing, isn't it? That's what's making it a bit more frightening, is the fact that it doesn't even have to be face to face. You just have to see evidence of what it looks like of its face.
Yes.
And that's all it.
I don't think paintings count. For some reason.
Paintings don't count because they're interpretation. But the person who saw that put that face to paint it, it's either not gonna last long enough to paint it, or it's gonna have
very fast painter.
Yeah, or very fast painter. Again, there are blurred images of it for obvious reasons. And again, it doesn't. It kind of eats you, kind of doesn't it? It just rips you to shreds, and then just sits down, cries for a bit, and then starts going back to where it wanted to go.
So, if you had to contain this thing, so it will get you.
There's no
what
way.
Would you put in front of it to slow it down for the longest? So the thing with the mountain, he scraped away the rock, but pretty efficiently.
But that's the thing, is most mountain rock is granite, full on one of the hardest shit in the world.
So what would you put in front of it?
If it wouldn't ever stop. There's literally nothing I could put in front of it.
I'd go live in a blimp, hot air balloon. So I don't know if he can jump.
No, I don't think he can, but at the same time, you'd have to get down at some point.
Actually, no, I'd go ring up Elon Musk. I'd be one of the first men to Mars.
Yeah.
Unless he'd commandeer a rocket ship.
That would be a fix.
I'll double check just in case they have tested this, because they've tested a lot of things for this.
Elon Musk is a psychopath. He's probably tested how his Iron Man suit at this point. I am way off camera. But
as am I. I need to be back on camera. Sorry if there's some noise on the mic. Need to
No, it's alright. We're
scooch
just
over. There we go.
it's a relaxing session. This session, but yeah, it's yeah, that would be a good strategy. Just get off the ground because again, it doesn't seem to have any ability to fly or anything.
It might. I may have missed that in one of the reports.
I'm trying to think some more really good ones that I remember.
I know one.
Go on then.
The computer.
Yes, that's another one that's from the game. This one's very interesting because it's proper retro nerdy thing. It's really cool.
It's basically a computer that has complete sentience, but above what we could expect AI to ever be.
Yeah,
but it's kept in an old Commodore 64 looking computer.
Yeah, proper hardback computer.
Yeah, cannot be connected to the internet. Because if it does, it'll get out, and God knows where it'll do. Because it doesn't like humans.
Yeah,
it sees humans as the virus of Earth.
Yeah, because that's what people have done to. That's what they've done to limit it. Is the fact that they managed to capture its main memory processor, and then shot it in this computer that has such limited memory. It has to constantly delete files, so it can't evolve itself. Because that's the thing, they don't have a clue who created it. They just found it in a...
They do know who created it, but it's redacted.
Oh, it's redacted, right, yeah. But it was found in a garage, and it was like an old project that of like a basic AI that could self-evolve sort of thing. Yeah, but and then obviously it got out of hand real quick, and the only way they could stop it was taken offline and putting it in such a piece of limited technology that it couldn't save more than a few minutes of memory.
It also, they found, very much wants to keep in contact with SCP-682.
Which one's that one?
The unkillable lizard, I think it's called. Basically, the thing that is invincible.
Yeah, that one's very similar in the fact that it's a massive lizard-like creature that hates human life or living life.
Hard to destroy reptile, sorry.
Yeah.
Not
you can destroy 90% of its body matter and it'll still come back.
You can destroy all of it.
Oh, as long as there's a piece left.
They even test it with some of the more extreme SCPs that can change dimensions and stuff.
But that's the thing.
Sent it to another dimension, but it came back.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And that's the thing. It's like it can hyper evolve to its situation, isn't it?
As soon as it's experienced something once, it becomes immune to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that's how the only way they keep it in a cage is by constantly having it in a bath of acid. Yeah. So all of its energy that is given, it has to be put back into repairing itself, and it gets all the nutrients it needs out of the acid.
If you had to deal with it, if you had to try and deal with it, assume it didn't attack back, but you had to destroy it. Or at least contain it in a better way. What would you try? I know what I'd try, but I'm curious what you'd try.
See, I feel like the current method's the best in the fact that you're just constantly keeping it there with a steady stream of acid to make sure that it can't do anything but keep constantly having to repair itself.
What I'd try, so obviously slightly pushing the envelope of possibility, but I would cut it perfectly in half. Not a slight bit more left or the right side.
Right.
Perfectly in half. Then which one would it regenerate? Or would it not be able to decide until...
See, you might have just fucked over the universe there.
Or it could double up.
It could double up like full-on Hellboy style.
But it is even said during interviews... I see interviews. Obviously, these things are community-driven. There's this really awesome YouTube channel called... Tats Top 10, I believe.
Yeah,
it's called. Who's done animated interviews and stuff with these, and with how I think he's held in very high regard to the point of his stories are canon to a point.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody will, especially if this goes up on YouTube. Did you find what you're looking for?
I'm just looking at random ones now. I'm listening. Don't worry.
No, I meant up there.
Shut up. Couldn't breathe.
But yeah, so assuming that his stuff's taken as canon, they said in one of the interviews with him, so what happens if you find another one of your species? And he just said, that depends if it's stronger than me or weaker than me. It's
See, that's intriguing. Yeah.
So if it's weaker than you,
it's not it's not like it's a. It's just human life. It hates every form of life. Yeah, that's the thing. It's the fact that like it doesn't even like its own version of life. It literally just hates every form of life it sees. It will destroy everything because it hates
tolerates
everything.
some, surprisingly. For example, one that it tolerates.
Which
Doesn't
one's
like,
that?
tolerates is the Plague Doctor.
Yes, it's anything connecting with death or killing humanity. It's very friendly with anything that's another way of mass murder, basically.
The Plague Doctor's not a mass murderer.
He doesn't see himself as, but he also sees life as a plague, basically.
Not quite.
He just
If he
picks
sees
random...
somebody who has any form of sickness or illness, he kills them. But if you're perfectly healthy, he thinks it's great, kind of thing.
But then there's also the same chance that he will denounce you and say that you've got the plague, which no one knows what he's on about. It's just a plague. Everyone makes reference to the fact that he's a plague doctor and they think it's a bubonic plague, but obviously it's not. So the plague doctor sees some random choice in the fact that some people have this sickness. So obviously he is a version of mass murder, because especially with his ability to make zombies that'll just kill anything on sight.
Very true. So, is there any more you have?
I've just looked up one here.
SCP
2962.
That's one of the later ones.
I
don't like the later ones as much. They feel like they've went out a bit too far.
Let's have a look if there's a one for like top rated.
Top rated. You get most of the ones we've talked about.
Yeah, but
all the ones that are just straight up dangerous. I like the interesting ones. The ones that have some odd nuance to them.
Yeah.
All
the way back to the beginning. See what top rated ones are. 2008. That's just how old this is. This one Wikipedia.
By the way, guys, I do highly recommend that after the show's over, or if you're on YouTube, pause it, go away, watch some of the stuff, come back. But to look up a lot of these things, check out the Tats Top 10 guy. He does some great videos on it, or just search them up if you prefer to read them by yourself. You can very easily end up down a rabbit hole for the night.
Oh yeah, it's so easy just to read through loads of these.
I've listened to readings of these.
Here's a good one that's a classic. This is SCP-342, and this is a ticket for the close that appears out of nowhere as a mass transport ticket, so like a day rider or something like that, for the closest form of transport. So if that is trains, it'll be a train ticket. If that's buses, it'll be a bus ticket, so on and so on. Whatever you shouldn't do is use this ticket, because as soon as you use this ticket, so should the ticket be validated by a stamp, tearing of the ticket, or stub or disposal, it will reform itself into an unused ticket after a short period of time. Blah blah blah. Anyone who uses this SCP to board a vehicle is unable to exit said vehicle by any means. Once the vehicle ends its route and ceases movement, the user will disappear from this reality. So this is a ticket that just goes yeet and just completely takes you out of reality.
It goes yeet.
It just completely sucks you out of it just because you wanted a free ride. This looks like an interesting one.
Number?
What the fuck is this?
Is that a J?
It's gotta be SCP-101. Or 1. Artist depiction of the SCP. Subject is too pretty to be photographed. Okay, this is definitely a joke one. Yeah, object class awesome.
That's another one of the joke ones.
Yeah, it's another one of the joke ones.
Yep, it's a dash J. I'm trying to think of some of the other good ones. We haven't talked about the original one, the one that started it all. This whole series.
No, I've definitely mentioned it last time we were on about it.
But did you talk about it?
Oh, yeah, of course. The sculpture. How...
What number was it? There it is. No, SCP-173, the sculpture, the original. So how in depth did you go? So I'm not repeating.
So pretty much all in, because there's only a certain set of in depth you can go with it. You can. So obviously, it is this alienoid human sculpture that stands up about a few meters tall, like just a bit taller than the 7 foot dude. It's pretty much looks like it's got a massive gash for a mouth and two green eyes. And if you've ever watched Doctor Who's The Weeping Angels, that's pretty much what they are inspired from. This is a statue. As soon as you close your eyes,
or is this inspired from them?
No, this came out much earlier.
Really?
I've got it. You got to have. I will put money on that.
Okay.
But no, and these things and they don't send you back in time. They can take your time energy, because that's not cool.
No, they do send you back in time.
I'm not on about Weeping Angels. I'm on this thing. I'm on
it. Just snaps your neck.
Yeah, this thing either snaps your neck, or even if it doesn't have time to do that, it'll literally just clamp its arms and like snubs around you to like choke you out.
Yeah.
So someone sees it in midway through snapping your neck, it'll just sort of stay still and turn into like rock and just go, yep. Either you let me snap his neck or he chokes.
Have a guess which SCP is scared of it.
Oh, no, I doubt. Wait, the
682 is scared of it.
Why is it scared of it?
Because it fucks it up big time.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine so, because obviously all it needs to do is take out its eyes.
No, it rips it to shreds. Absolute ribbons. Again, if you're taking some of the YouTube stuff.
No, that's what I mean. It's like as soon as it takes out the reptile's eyes, it's got no defense against that for a while, until its body finally it has enough time to evolve. But even then, with how much damage it does, yeah, exactly. With how
keeps going and going.
But there's one SCP that the reptile does like, but in a sort of the same way the hound likes Arya from like
SCP-999.
Is that the gooey?
The tickle monster.
The tickle monster.
The tickle monster.
This one's a cute one. So this is a nice little example of how cute some SCPs can be. This is a big glob of jelly, basically. It looks like. Do you want
me to read it out?
Yeah, go on. You read it out.
So, SCP-999 appears to be a large, anamorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing about 59 kilograms, 120 pounds for you Americans, with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. Subject size and shape is easily malleable and can change shape at will. Though when at rest, SCP-999 becomes a rounded, oblate dome roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The surface of SCP-999 consists of a thin, transparent membrane similar to that of an animal cell, roughly 0.5 centimeters thick. It's elastic, lets it go flat. Basically, it's a squishy boy. But it's basically, if you touch it, you have uncontrollable laughter, no matter how sad you are, and it takes all your sadness away. And
that's the thing, it's not like the pain. It's called the tickle monster because it's like the uncontrollable laughter of a tickle. But that's the thing, it's not as if it'll snuggle on you the same way like a cat does. But this isn't like the painful sort of laughter you get from like being tickled where it starts hurting for a while. This is pure bliss. This is literally the happiest any creature can ever be.
If any of you guys listening are sat at a computer as well, quickly search up on Google Images SCP-999 just look at some people's interpretation of it. It is the cutest little orange shit I have ever seen.
It's amazing. I love it. And it's the fact that like it's the only thing that manages to slightly make the hard to destroy reptile happy, and then hard to destroy reptile doesn't like it.
It does like being happy.
Yeah, it gets really annoyed every time they put it on him for a test or just for fun sometimes. Like they're generally a way of neutralizing the hard to destroy reptile is by just flinging that thing on it. And then the thing will do its job. It'll get distracted enough that they can like corral it, and then it goes fuck, and then just like it gets really annoyed that like the piece of jelly managed to calm it down.
Okay, so slightly looping back around. So you can own one of 2 SCPs. You can't. The rest of the world won't know. It's just yours. You can do whatever you please with it. Okay. Do you want the tickle monster or the vending machine?
Vending machine.
And you can't say SCP-999 on the vending machine and get a copy. It's cheating.
I'd say the vending machine. That's got more practicality to it.
But if someone found it,
what the fuck are they going to do? I'll make sure they don't find it. I'll put it in like its own little safe room.
But eventually, so I'm talking about this reality where hopefully most of this stuff doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll die. It will be left to someone else.
A cup of eternal youth, bitch. Still alive, never going.
But then you're the guardian of that forever.
Cool. Yeah, I'm the guardian of that forever. That can
it sounds cool, but it's the whole thing when someone's like, "Oh, imagine like 6 hours worth of sex." It sounds awesome when you say it, but in practicality, by like hour 2, you're probably like,
nah. I think it would be worth it. And if it's eternal youth, I would hope it would come with like non-aging as well, so I don't look like a corpse by the time like.
But eventually,
few years.
Eventually, and I mean, quite frankly, probably after about a year or 2, sat with that machine, you'd have everything you'd ever want and never could want.
Yeah, and I could keep myself entertained for centuries. Oh, what's that new game comes out? Get me a cup of that game.
But then it'll come out.
Oh, as a liquid, yeah. I'll just ask for the money.
A cup of liquid money. How does that work? You'll have to go with gold. And then eventually people are going to start getting suspicious where you're getting all this gold from.
I'll just set my gold miner, bitch, and I'll have my secrets. See? Just like
Cashforgold.com.
Cash for gold. If Chavs can break into a jewellery store and sell it on Chavs for gold, cash for gold, then I can.
Is this some kind of like gypsy hideaway? Chaps for gold.
They don't hide away. They flaunt themselves with their beer bellies and the tiny horses. But yeah, like, again, I think it would be an easy choice. Like, yeah, something that occasionally makes me happy. Guess what? It's called an Xbox. It occasionally makes me pissed every time I lose a game. But, like, most of the time it does its job.
So you'd ask for an Xbox from the vending machine?
I'd ask for the funds to get an Xbox.
But it would come out as a liquid.
I'd still be able to get the funds in some way or form.
Maybe.
But that's the thing, no, it doesn't always come out as a liquid. No, it usually does, doesn't it? I don't know.
It's always liquid.
Well, that's the thing, is like, if you ask for a cup of dirt, it gives you dirt. Not liquid dirt.
No.
But yeah, let's have a look at some of the ones. I'm trying to think as many as the proper original ones as I can, because I'm going off the cuff now. I've already went through my notes.
I have some extras.
What's this?
They're
one?
They're not as interesting.
I've seen a J one. Oh my fucking god! What is
that? Is that Santa?
Oh my god!
Is Santa an SCP now? I mean, I know.
Ha ha ha! Merry Christmas. That's literally the thing it says under the picture.
HAW ha ha ha
ha ha ha.
It's so. Is that like a really preppy Santa?
I've got to have a look. Description: apprehended in Lapland in blank. Subject appears to be an elderly male of vaguely Caucasian heritage. SCP-2412 has stated that he is content with staying in the Foundation custody as long as his yearly job is not hampered. It's Santa. They've got Santa. SCP Foundation have got Santa, and they let him out once a year to like give gifts to the world.
Well, what about? Well, that reminds me.
What's this one?
One of the original ones.
Oh, there's another one I wanted to talk about. That's one of the original ones. The malfunctioning war machine.
I don't actually know this one, which is odd for me.
Oh, it's amazing. Right, do you know, I think it's on Venus. The Storm Eye?
Yes, I do know it.
The Eye of the Storm in Venus. Well, in SCP lore, that's not actually a storm.
That's it repairing.
That's a alien ship that looks like a warship or like a war robot.
That the Foundation has bombarded with about 100 nuclear missiles. And
No.
dent.
No, it's not. It's not that. Oh well, if they have that, that's amazing. But like, what they've been relying on mostly is the harsh weather of the fact that this machine on its way to Earth got blindsided by Venus, and it's been trapped in Venus's like acidic, because obviously the clouds in Venus are filled with acid. That's been constantly making it need repairs, and that's why it hasn't left. Is that Venus just blindsided it? It's now under constant damage, and now its main priority is constantly repairing, and it's slowly getting to the point where it's repaired enough to move, but it's not there yet. It's just getting close, and people aren't sure what's going to happen when it does. Ooh, another creepy one is the Red Lake. That one's a very fantasy one.
Which one's the Red Lake?
The Red Lake is somewhere in either Alaska or Canada, I believe. One of the two snowy areas. And is a lake that, as you could probably tell, is completely red.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that's not Kool-Aid.
It's pretty much blood. However, the area around this lake is quarantined for miles. The reason why, weird creatures are coming out of the lake and they are very violent. Occasionally a few humanoids have came through and aren't as violent, but because of past experiences they are just shot on sight either way. There's like, oh, something came out of the red pool, and it's like, this one's begging for help, it's got a child. It's asking us to take the child.
But by any chance, is this lake in Chernobyl?
No, I'm not sure.
Somewhere in Pripyat.
I'm not sure. Again, it's like, just if you type in Red Lake or something, it'll be there. And I swear these all here. Again, there's a way of finding these. You can just search up relevant notes about it. So again, if you want to find the sculpture but you can't remember its number, you just type in sculpture, rock, neck snapping, stuff like that.
I have tried to keep all the numbers in when I've talked about them. So if you guys do want to look them up, here's a quick list of the ones I have on hand and that we have talked about. So the hard to destroy reptile, the indestructible crocodile lizard thing, is SCP-682. Then we have the computer, which listening to its interviews is actually really interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Is called Old Al, SCP-079.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Is the fact that that's what makes these more interesting. So usually there's some sort of interactive form of media that you can have with. There's the coffin one where you can have the live footage from nearby, because that's the deemed area where you can experience the effects from a safe distance.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll keep you going on the list. So, the sculpture, the original, the one that we've just been talking about, the neck snappy boy, is SCP-173. The Plague Doctor is SCP-049. Senor Tickle Monster, 999. And the pan-dimensional vending machine is SCP-261. And the other ones that I haven't just mentioned, I don't have at hand. And it'll probably take me longer than the 10 minutes we have left to try and find it.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just literally going through loads of random ones, trying to find some fun ones, some fun boys.
And some fun boys. Let's see what I can find as well then. We did actually get through those ones a lot quicker than I expected. I thought we were going to be on that vending machine for a lot longer.
That's the thing with these. They're that short and quick that you can just quickly boop your way through them and search what you want.
So I'm going to read out some names of the joke ones, and if one sounds interesting to you, just say yep, and I'll go.
Right,
with it.
Okay.
So I'll
that
bother
sounds
with
like
numbers.
the best strategy. Let's go with this. Yeah.
What happened to Site-19? The official SCP sales catalog. Toilet humor. The big red button. Records of the CKG gathering. Can't pronounce that one. Stan from accounting.
I think that's the one that's like he's the one who can like destroy shit like without trying.
What the fuck is that thing? That's the name of one.
Go on then, let's have a look at that one. I think that's
this one's going to be probably really odd to go through. So this one has lots of different add-ons to it.
Right.
Which usually if something has an add-on, so let's say it was SCP-111 that had maybe something come off it, like a fly might fly over its pocket or something.
Yeah.
That would become SCP-111-1.
Right.
And then if it has anything else, -2, -3. So it's categorized to that thing, but it's its own individual thing. This one, I'm looking at different pictures. So there is -1. Every leg wants to destroy you. It's a picture of a millipede. -2. Everyone agrees this one is just fucking disgusting. Looks like a really spiky wasp. And then -3, which is a caterpillar, is just fuck.
Let's have a look. I want to see these.
Object class.
Oh yeah, these are a few of the joke ones where it's
bugs.
like people who are scared of terrifying little bugs.
Bugs.
But one of the more serious ones that I've just remembered is the unfinished song sheet, in which it's this old traditional piece of classic music on a song sheet that's incomplete, and it looks to be written in blood. Guess what happens if you're too close to it for long?
You try and finish it.
Yeah.
With your own blood.
Yeah.
But is it a good song? Is the question.
It's never finished. And it's got to the point where when they found it, it had multiple pages worth, like in the double to triple digits.
But the thing is, the Foundation is kind of fucked up. So what they do when they have people... when they have the need to go inside of a cell and do something like maintenance or clean or whatever, they send in death row inmates.
Yeah, well, it's a good strategy.
Class D personnel, as they get called.
Well, that's a good strategy. If you need to stay stealthy and stay under the radar, best way to get around it is make sure that the people who were going missing are never going to be questioned.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but they're apparently quite loose with human life. Let's say.
Yeah, the people die there all the time.
And I'm curious if they've ever supplied it with a fuckload to see if they get a finished song out of it. Or at this point now, is it like 3 hours?
They probably have. They probably have. Then they do tests on it, so that's probably what most of the tests consist of. But it's really interesting. One last one I'd like to talk about before we end, because we're getting close now, is actually the one that you don't really initially figure out, but it's the player you play as in the SCP Foundation Breach game.
The one that is immortal.
Yes, because what happens is that if you get captured by the Foundation, they make a note of it, and they go, he seemed to have really known the Foundation off by heart. There's no way he could have known this full Foundation when his memory is supposed to be wiped. And he's just wandering around when there's no electricity as well. And it's an emergency situation, and is avoiding these SCPs like they know they're there. And like they know what to do, and it's inferiorized that every time you die and you're resetting, you're just waking back up in a sort of paradox thing. Mm-hmm. And it's brilliant is the fact that like every attempt you're making is a universe that you've just woken up into.
There's actually a series on YouTube about it, an animated series. Very well done. I forget the YouTuber's name, so I apologize for that. But the series is called Containment, I believe.
No, it's Confinement.
Confinement. And basically,
I highly recommend them.
It is very much a lighter-hearted version of what this thing is supposed to be. But it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't realize the link. I didn't realize the link until you've just said that, because I've watched it again. I'd highly recommend it. It's really funny, and it's got a really good narrative to it. It's so far they haven't brought out a new episode in a while, but like they work really hard on the episodes, so it's very understandable because the quality of animation's brilliant. But
it's like 6 months per episode, I think.
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying where I found it now before it's finished, because I have to wait about another 4 months for the next one, I think.
But like, I didn't realize that was the link that was made. Is the fact that every time
it might not be the link. I just made that link.
But
myself.
yeah, it makes sense if it is, because again, it's every time this guy's dying, he's just remembering it, and it's.
There is also something else that comes out in the animation, which I won't say, just in case any of you guys listening want to go out and watch it. So I don't think it's the exact same guy, but he is an SCP kind of thing.
Yeah.
He is designated as one since he dies and just goes poof and reappears where he is.
Yeah, that's it. This guy one about like the main protagonist, and the further it gets into the episodes, the further it delves into his mysterious past and stuff like that. Because obviously, with him being SCP, who's just known the Foundation for most of his life's going to be a mystery and the main focus of it all. But it goes around it in a very comedic way, and it's really good and really funny.
I mean, how long do we have left? We have 4 minutes, so I'll quickly bring this up before we wrap up. If you were immortal like that, would you deliberately go out the way to die just to test things out and feel the pain, or would you just try and avoid it because it freaking hurts?
I'd say I'd just try and avoid it because it freaking hurts, and I imagine if I did it for too long, I'd just desensitize myself to such things, and that would get dangerous because that's how you go psychotic.
But you're immortal. So
yeah, but
you're not superpowered.
But that's the thing. Is like I'm immortal, but I also don't want to mentally make myself.
Would you put yourself forward for tests?
No,
not governmental, very public, so you won't get SCP'd and whisked away.
Because
but if someone said, there's somebody trapped at the bottom of here, but if anyone goes to rescue them, there's a high chance they'll die. Will you try and save this kid? Will you be like, nah, I'm good? Or would you actually?
I don't know. Like, it depends on the situation. Because if
it's a little boy, 5 years old.
No, I don't care about the child. Like, I'm on about. I'm on about the fact that if I do die, will I just respawn back in public? That's the thing. It's like, will I respawn back in public? Because then the secret's out, and that's when you get government agents coming after you. Because there's no way around that. There really isn't. No. Like, even if you try and go public about it and be as public as possible, as like hiding out in the open,
you'll have a Princess Diana type thing.
They'll find a way of getting to you. That's just what governments do, and we're getting deep into the conspiracy part of our little channel here.
That's probably one for another episode. Looking at the time,
yes, sadly so. Well, we hope you enjoy this episode, guys. It was a bit more chaotic than usual, a bit more laid back, but I like being laid back when I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get bollocks for it because Pinkie likes a little bit of organisation.
Very seriousness. So, shall I attempt a half-serious outro?
But, nah.
Should I do it for you?
Nah, I'm going to say keep it creepy. And if you want more Creepy Corner out there, you know where to get us. Get us our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Instagram.
If you want more of me,
all links in the below. And obviously YouTube, which we'll be putting on this very soon.
I have noticed mostly through this recording, I have been off camera, so apologies for that. But
it's fine.
To you YouTube people up there, for you radio people that don't know what's happening, I'm pointing, so I'll quickly say YouTube. Goodbye. Hopefully see you soon.
Yes. Lovely having you, Andy. Thank you for being our little
stand-in.
Pinkie 2.0.
I know I have a bit more facial hair and a bit less tits, but hopefully people didn't mind as much.
You're still cute. It's fine.
I might come back another time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.